Sounds like a cool website. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, you might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sharing and caring, and Al Graham's here with us because
he cares and shares as well.
Yes, he does. Hi, Al. How are you, buddy? I think he muted his microphone and he has forgotten.
No, he's not.
Phone call.
He's not muted. Darcy laughed.
No, I'm not muted. I'm here.
Oh.
His lips weren't moving.
His lips weren't moving.
His lips weren't moving.
Lips weren't moving. No sound was coming out.
Yeah. I couldn't even hear the intro. Like, we were talking pre-show. I could hear everything, and all of a sudden, I couldn't hear nothing. I went, "What? What's going on?"
You didn't hear the song?
No, I didn't hear it. No.
You couldn't sing with us.
I couldn't sing along with it. I was really looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. We could do it again here.
Would you like us to play it again for you?
Oh no, I wouldn't want you to have to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you saying that it's time for a new theme song? Is that what you're saying, Marcel?
No, I love that theme song. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Jim Melvin did that from Royal Kush Band. He's awesome.
Yep. Nice.
Down
East Coast?
Yep. Every now and then I say, "Hey, Jim, we need a song about missing 420 or something like that." And then he sends me a song, call it It's 422, and I fucking missed it again. Which I have somewhere. I should pull it out. I should whip it out, as they say.
Al said he was sharing, but I don't see anything.
I'm working on it, dude. And you're talking to me. Do that.
I wasn't talking to you. Nobody was talking to you. You butted into our conversation. Go back to what you were doing. We'll talk about you.
All right.
Wow. Oh, God. Oh, it's been a long week.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, but it's... Go ahead.
Hey, I was going to say, hey, Al. Al and Al, the two Al's and Marcel. If I automatically leave here again, and like I just did, I'll come right back in. It's just my phone.
Oh, why?
Yeah, your internet all straightened out yet?
I got my internet straightened out, but I got to wait and get take my computer in and get it wiped because there's a lot of stuff on it that I don't need. And that's why I can't use it. And that's why last week when I used it, I could barely hear what you guys were saying. That's why I jumped on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to have a conversation when you can't hear.
Well, only especially only half the sentence. So
I can tell you how to fix your computer.
How's that, Marcel?
It's just simple little code. It's just Format C.
Yeah.
Format C. Yeah.
Hey.
Old joke.
Yep, and have some new discs.
It didn't sound good when Al gasped.
No, back in the days, that was all Control Delete twice. Type in Format C.
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat room. Hit Control Alt Delete. You'll be able to see the chat room.
Do that twice. Type in Format C, and everything will be fine, and we won't have to worry about you anymore.
Al, are you?
Yo, that's right.
Are you still doing live on Spreaker when you do your stuff? or are you putting it up?
Me?
Yeah.
No, it goes up afterwards. It goes up afterwards as a podcast. Right now, maybe someday I'll get it to. What's that?
I have it up on the big TV. We're on everything because I like to, it's radio, so we got to keep that format, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mine right now is just going out on the radio broadcast as a podcast. Those people there. I wasn't going to shut down the Spreaker account just because I moved to StreamYard to do video. There's still listeners, lots of listeners. You'll find I'm sure you know yourself. If you got any of the old programming on your Spreaker account, people still listen to those shows.
Passions, Saturday Night Reggae.
Yeah.
Still has people coming to look and listen to it.
I'm the same way. Yeah, shows. I've told some of those past hosts of those shows that people still listen to that stuff.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how old it is. People still want to hear it. So keep it as live as long as possible.
I've taken a lot of things off of Spreaker, but they remain on our YouTube. I'm trying to build our YouTube channel, so they remain
right.
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yeah, it works great as an archive site.
Yeah, until they wipe us out.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of you just imagine if you kept all the audio and now all the video, you'd have to keep adding to your hard drive.
Can I ask you a question? Do you grind that loud on your show?
Sorry, I didn't know.
What an ass.
Well, I ran out of doobies, and I thought, I could just roll some while we're on the show, right? I got two more nugs to do, okay? And what?
You go ahead. It is a week.
Right.
You're allowed.
That's usually what I do, Al. I usually roll joints when I'm on the show. That way they're done for a couple of days.
I don't do that. I just roll them as I need them because sometimes I want a fatty and sometimes I want a skinny. Al rolls like toothpicks compared to what I roll.
Yeah, I usually roll anywhere from 6 to 10 joints in the morning, and if I run out like I did today, because I was down and visited Dr. Buck, so we had some doobies while I was down there, and
an Airbnb now, eh?
Correct. Yeah, and it's right in the garden.
Yeah,
right in the garden as well.
I saw pictures. Yeah. We should have them.
So I used up my extra my doobies there while I was visiting him, and so I ran short. So I figured it'd be fine to roll some doobies during tonight's broadcast. But the grinding is done. Okay.
Okay. How many do you think you smoke a day?
I'm going to say probably around 10, 12. So I'm looking at probably somewhere around 6 to 7 grams, probably.
Marcel, how many do you smoke?
Just depends on the day and how busy I am. Probably
Average.
20.
And Darcy?
I only smoke like maybe 4 joints a day, but bowlfuls now. You're talking.
You eat a lot, right?
Well, I used to.
No, but he bongs a lot.
I use my bong.
Oh, okay.
So then, how a guy sort of based mine on about a little more than half a gram per joint, usually around, let's say, 0.6 or something. So if you're doing bowls, would you consider like a bowl would be equivalent to a joint? Being, would it be half-gram bowls?
Actually, I equivalent a bowl to, say, about a half a gram of weed on it, and then I usually put kefir hash on top, and then a dab of rosin. So you're looking at about a gram, about a gram and a half to 2 grams when you figure it all out.
Yeah, when you add it all up.
and I usually do about 2 or 3 of them 2 or 3 of them a night.
I have a lot of hash during the day, like Marcel.
But I see at work.
Yeah.
I go all day at work from say 6:45 till usually 2 or 3 without anything. I usually just go into work and don't take breaks and don't come out until usually, unless I got to pee or if I really get hungry enough.
Right. Yeah. You're at work.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Big thing there for sure.
Okay, now that I've asked that question, let's tell people why.
Oh, well,
why?
Mine's for my stiffness and my pain. I sit all day, so
for those who don't know, Darcy,
for what condition?
Wheelchair bound.
I'm in I was put in a wheelchair 22 years ago, 21 years ago, from a forestry accident, and I suffer from a severe spasticity and chronic pain on my right side because I have a scoliosis really bad from not sitting on a cushion for 15 years.
Yeah.
So it came back and bit me in the ass.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
Marcel?
What?
Why?
Why what?
Why do you smoke?
I only use cannabis to stay alive and so that others can stay alive.
Hey. Can't argue with that.
Nope.
Well, I mean, without cannabis, there'd be a lot of dead people around me.
Marcel has MS. That's why he uses the amounts that he uses.
Correct.
Yeah,
now,
I have a weird MS though.
Do you think that if you stop, like what's the longest you've stopped for? Have you cleansed or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I did it here just a few weeks ago.
Okay. And so how long do you go?
3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, after 3 days, I'm right back to the way I was before cannabis.
You're using your cane or you're in your chair.
I can't even fucking move.
Darcy, you're very loud today.
That's my dog having a drink of water. I'm sorry.
No, every couple of years I'll test it out and I'll stop. And I did this time. I didn't stop smoking. I just stopped my ingestion.
Okay, and
yeah, 3 days. 3 days I was back to tremors, back to constant full chronic pain, and back to being a hateful person.
And that's why you were kind of okay. This is all making sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I'm glad you're back to where you were.
Yeah.
So, and so now, Al, why don't you tell us about why?
Why I use cannabis for everything from pain issues to help with appetite, sleep, and just the calming of the mind.
And you have Crohn's as well, so it helps.
I have Crohn's disease. Correct. I have my condition is Crohn's disease, and I'm also a cancer survivor. I've had melanoma, skin cancer.
Well, that's because you're outside.
Which I don't usually talk a lot. Well, yeah, I'm not there anymore. They closed down, but even still after my diagnosis, I still went there. You know,
they were up here. They were up here the weekend that I was driving up here. They were going as I was coming back.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. As if you cross paths.
Probably.
Yeah.
I know by the time that I talked to them, they were already in Concord or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Vaughn and Hector, they stayed here. It's gonna make it a little loud here for a second. A lot more. They stayed for a couple weekends. They were here for a visit.
Cool.
Yeah. And they visited other people and stuff like that while they're here. But we've got lots of room in order for them to bring in their 38-foot RV and get them to park it. So.
Yeah, it's a shame that people just can't leave enough alone. You know.
Mm-hmm. So Yeah, exactly. It was too bad that they got attacked. Basically, is what
They
happened.
got shut down because what we're talking about is there was a farm that Al used to go to that friends owned, and they allowed nudist camp and trailer parking. And we used to do a show every year there to promote
Yeah,
that lifestyle as I
and
grew up
cannabis.
style
Yeah.
and cannabis, yes. And they had a huge farm there, and everybody would be inside listening, and yeah, it was really cool.
And it
But
was
Really
fun
good.
because it was back when it was radio and we didn't have videos of it.
You got her. But hey,
no, we could see the
Yvonne and
video.
I did.
We,
Yvonne and
we
I did selfies.
video.
We could see the videos, just we weren't sharing with anybody else.
Al, close your leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Could you
But
maybe turn
yeah, it was
around?
good. It was good because we would talk about how there's some of the similarities, how people who like that type of lifestyle were also stigmatized in society as cannabis is.
Well, I grew up. My sister and I and my mom and her boyfriends went to the nudist camps, and
Yeah.
we used to go to the quarry in Hamilton, which is still there, and it's huge. I think that it still operates as a park. But we went through Europe in nudist camps in the 70s in a VW camper. So, yeah.
Cool.
but
And the
but now,
bog.
yeah, nudist. No, the only thing that sees me nude is my mirror and my dog.
But I will say, around here, the stigmatism is really changing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is
And
it good?
around here, yeah, actually, we had to do some running around today. Go to like 5 different fucking stores. But we went to McDonald's. A kid wanted something at McDonald's. So we went to McDonald's. There's 2 people standing beside the drive-through smoking a joint, which you'd never see 5 or 6 years ago.
No,
We
Right.
leave there.
back
We
of
go over.
out
Yeah,
back with by the garbage.
yeah. No, these ones are right there beside the parking lot, right beside the
Out in
drive-through,
the open, right? Yeah.
out in the open, sharing a joint. I said, excellent. I love it. We go over to the superstore, and there's some guy sitting out there. He's having a puff on a joint. And then
Nice.
up at Walmart, outside Walmart, the guy's standing out there having a joint. I said, all right. I said, we've done our job.
We're not over yet.
Oh, fuck no.
No.
That's just. But this little town that I'm in is so. I don't want to say anti-cannabis because everybody here uses cannabis, but it was so kept under wraps so much because of this is where Rick Simpson happened, right? So we never
Right.
got to have a dispensary. We had a dispensary that was in town for 3 days, and the only reason he was
3
raided is
days.
he put an article in the paper saying that he was selling legal CBD products. So they went in and raided him and then showed him the criminal code that there is no such thing as a legal CBD. Or back then there wasn't.
Correct.
So they
Yeah.
closed him
Yeah.
down, but he was only open for like 3 fucking days.
3 days, eh? Well, I just recently moved. I moved this spring to out here in the country. Up until then, for the last 4.5 years, I lived in a town called Marmara. And it's known for its big mine that is out there. And they used to have dog sled races there as well. So what happened when Ontario went to legalize cannabis, they gave all the municipalities and cities the option to opt out. And Marmara, they did a public survey, and it turned out that 74.4% of the people who took the survey wanted the stores, but 3 council members out of 5 voted no to the stores because their constituents told them they didn't want the stores. And I said, well, how can that be? With 74.4% of the people who took the survey, yeah, that's not everybody in the municipality, but the share number was was much better than what was reported in other municipalities. So
That's ridiculous.
they opted out. So there's no stores in Marmora Lake, and so patients they have to drive out of
Yeah,
town again.
Campbellford. Right. I haven't. One thing I never
They
did
go to
was go.
Campbellford, they go to Madoc, they go to Havelock.
I didn't even go into one of the stores. I should have. I wasn't going into legal stores when I was there.
Yeah,
I did.
and so they opted out, and it just went against everybody. So last night there was an all candidates meeting, and so I know a fellow who was there, and I know a fellow who's running for council. So I haven't checked with the guy who was running for council on things, but I talked to the other guy, and he says it was just a great big bitch fest. And one of the councilors, or one of the people who are running for council, who's not presently on the council, spoke up and said that he was in favor of the cannabis stores coming to the municipality. The present council, they had the opt-in come before them 3 times over the last 4 years, and the 3 councillors voted no on 2 of them. One councillor, all he ever said about the whole thing was no when he voted. He never ever asked any questions when a delegation, including reps from the OCS and LPs, were there, as well as the guy who wanted to open the store. They still voted no against it with different reasons all of a sudden. So on the 3rd time, one of the people who voted no on the stores decided that they wanted to bring a motion forward towards council in order for them to rescind the first 2 votes and allow the stores to happen. So me and another patient, we spoke before council before that meeting and talked to them about how patients could have access to them, and that the government says that the 53% of the people who enter the stores do for medicinal purposes, and how we told them how it could help. So then they what happened after I was done, I went back and checked because they took us right out of the feed. We never saw what happened afterwards. So I went to the YouTube channel and I watched it. And the mayor asked the councillor if they wanted to speak to their motion, and the councillor withdrew their motion because on the count of rumors in town that she was doing this for political gain.
Wow.
It's just a shit show. So
what kind of political gain is pot going to get?
Well, they felt that maybe this lady was going to run for mayor, or this councillor was going to run for mayor, and that would benefit her, because after 4 years, even after all this voting and all that stuff, obviously it's still being discussed. It's still there. So, unfortunately, my friend was late for the meeting, so he doesn't know if it came up in any in-depth discussion. But people in the local forums have said that they want it. There's some that are obviously against it, but it's when the town spoke. Why do you put on a poll, run a survey for your community, and then completely ignore it? Like, even the municipal staff recommended that they opt in and told them about all the benefits. I attended that first council meeting when they opted out, and nobody spoke for or against the stores. One person got up and they said, if you don't opt in now, you can opt in later. That was it. Nothing else was said. Not at a public meeting. So it's I just looked at it. It was some people who were against cannabis because of the propaganda and crap that's been going on with prohibition over the last 100 years or 90 years. And, they still believe the stuff that they were told all that time. So hopefully they get a new council and, they can get some, access. People do, people are accessing it anyways. People can grow their cannabis there.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think that towns forget that anybody can grow 4 plants now.
Yeah.
Depending on what province you're in.
Well, yeah, that's coming before the Supreme Court of Canada with Quebec and Manitoba. Yeah.
That battle still has to be heard out and fought.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
Eventually,
And
it'll be every province.
now, yeah, from what I had read in the one report, they said that it would be legal for them to reduce it to one plant. They could do that. They don't have to allow the 4, but they can't. Apparently, the opinion is that they can't shut them down completely. So I don't know. Let's hope the Supreme Court rules in favor of 4 plants for everybody in Canada.
That one plant rule would suck, especially if you cracked a male. Right? So you spend the first 4 weeks growing the plant up to find out that it's a male, and you got to start all over again.
Big time.
Fuck
Yeah. You don't want that to happen.
How long does it take to find that out?
About 4 weeks.
That's a quarter of your grow time.
Well,
This is right.
yeah, you start all over again, right? Especially if you're starting from seed.
Yeah.
You know, at least with clones, you got a head start.
So you're
but those guys would turn around. Their legal stores would charge $500 a clone.
Yeah, are they even available in stores?
You know what?
I don't know yet.
No, I don't.
I haven't seen. I don't go into stores very often, but when I go in there, I'm not usually looking for clones. But I haven't heard of anybody selling them.
He goes into legal stores and buys weed, and then runs out, gets in his car, and runs away.
Who's that?
You.
Oh no! I'm looking for a beverage that I could actually just easily go to a store and get. But because of my Crohn's disease, I don't get along with carbonated drinks. And the majority of the drinks that are out there are carbonated, sparkling water, whatever. It's still carbonated. Or iced tea, and I don't like iced tea.
You can use the syrups. You like the syrups.
Syrups.
Like
you can't get those in the legal market.
Yeah.
He's talking legal market stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they had syrup.
No.
Not in no.
No
that I know.
You.
No. Legacy 420. They make beverages that are non-carbonated,
and they have a syrup.
And they're tested. And, they have maple syrup.
I go to Tim Hortons and get a coffee, and then bring it home and put it in one of my ice creams.
Oh, ice cream! You and your ice cream. But in order to deal with that, one thing to do is, the THC infused sugars. I don't like adding sugars or anything like that, but that you can add that to Gatorade or something.
Yeah.
Low sugar Gatorade.
What are we having for dinner?
When the sugar dissolves, the oil separates from the sugar.
Yeah.
Right, so then it sticks to the inside of the can and to the roof of your mouth. And
enough for everybody, MJ?
Yeah, come on over. You can have some burnt burgers.
Burnt burgers.
Burgers. Are they chicken?
No.
Don't have to worry about E. coli if they're burnt.
No, they're beef.
They still look pretty pink to me from what I saw of them.
They're not done yet.
Okay.
This is the second round.
Oh, so you burned them on purpose.
You burnt the first round, didn't you?
These are
I was trying to get my computer to work and my phone to work, then my computer to work, then my phone. I had to strip my phone case off just so I could get on.
Wow.
Why would you have to take your phone case off?
Because my extension audio thing, this white one, won't plug into my phone with the case on it.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Al has that problem. He's got a new mic he wants to try, and he can't because his case is on it. He's got one of those little pile? Like an iPhone.
So
sure, yeah. It's just
I have this thing. Wait, where's my camera? I have this, and I thought this would be good, but it didn't work.
Oh,
it just didn't work. So
you're here now. It's all that matters.
Yeah,
and you hear me now. So.
Nice kitchen.
We hear you.
Did you say nice what?
Nice kitchen.
Oh, that's not what I heard.
What did you hear? Come on, tell us.
I heard nice tits. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Al, you're starting dinner pretty early, aren't you?
Hold on a second.
See, though.
I have ever said something like that to you. I have
That's
said
why I was thrown off. I was like, what the hell is this? It's not Al.
I know what I can get away with.
Dude, you can't. I don't. That wasn't even acceptable 10, 15 years ago, I don't think.
It was here.
Like, nah.
On
When I
my
was
old
like-
website, it was very, very unacceptable to say, show me your tits. That's one of the reasons why I started that chat room, was because I got sick of people coming in, seeing consenting adults doing whatever and going, okay, show me your tits. You know, it's like, fuck off.
Well, you know, that's because you if you wanted that, you should have. Well,
you understand what I'm saying, Al, because you're a nudist, and you know you don't go to a nudist farm to stare at people's junk. You go to
Mary Jane was there.
You
Mary
labeled
Jane was
us.
there.
How dare you label us? I don't like labels.
Did you go, Mary?
What?
Have you ever been to a nudist camp?
What?
You heard me.
Al's right. I was there.
She was there, but
she was.
But
she was there. She was there. She was there, and she was very productive while she was there.
Yes.
They put her to work. Yeah.
That's great. I was productive. I had many words to explain me, but productive was not one.
Get your heads out of the gutter. Come on. She came over to help trim some cannabis, is what she was doing.
Did you check in the nude?
No,
no,
was too cold for that.
It was too cold. You know, we're not stupid. You know, you still get dressed when it's cold. Come on now.
I remember one year we were there doing the weekend thing, and Al was walking around with no bottoms on all weekend, and the only thing that I could I'm just like, keep the camera up, Al.
I had a shirt on. Yeah, that was probably after my cancer removal. That was one of the things I did, was keep a shirt on in order to try to reduce the sun that I was getting.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'd
have a hard time going to one, because I honestly would walk around saying, geez, guy, I didn't think it was that cold out. Just to boost the self-esteem and something.
Well, I was gonna go, like I was legit gonna go, and like not just to harvest, but before I went, Al sent me this long email, or at least it felt like it was a really long email of like do's and don'ts, and like, hey, just so you know. And
yeah,
I got to the towel. You must bring a towel, and I'm like, towel? I was like, to sit on, and I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense, because I'm going to have a bare ass all weekend. I was like, you're going to want to bring something to sit on. But I was like, there was so much of that. I had no idea that. I was like, I think I'm a little bit too out of my element here. Because either one of it was like, everybody's respectful and we keep our eyes, do you know what I mean? We don't look at everybody. I would have to be walking around like this, so that way I didn't see anything, because it's human nature. I want to see what you got.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes, it is. Hey, Al.
And it's peripheral vision as well, right?
I'm going to look over there, and if you just happen to walk through where I'm looking, that's on you.
So my buddy Dean just sent me a picture, and in fact, you can get they're called premium THC shots by Jetpack from Flight, and they are a legal substance. And they are it's like a shot.
But where are they available?
I
don't know. Let me ask him.
Well, the legal market, I have actually had when it comes to drinks. I've had like the legal. Like, they have a shooter. I have had 2 different shooters from the stores, and then I had this other drink, and it was 2 ounces, and it said water. That's all it said on the label, was water. It didn't say carbonated, didn't say sparkling, it just said water. And it was like a cardboard container, and you took it out, or a plastic container, whatever. You took it out, and it was a little wee small bottle. And when you twist it off the top, it released everything into the water, and that's when it was blended. It was the blending process. Well, I drank that, and like it's only 2 ounces, and I was not very well for a couple of days.
I had
because it was carbonated.
I had a soda on the air just before I moved, and it was like just drinking a soda. It was, I can't remember what it was in it, but it was the maximum that they're allowed to put in it, I guess.
10, yeah, 10.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked Dean if this is a legal product here. I'm waiting for him to.
You can get 60 milligrams from overall. You can get more than that. Like, I've seen some stuff that was I claim one thing, and I think it's another thing. How's the burgers coming, Mary Jane?
They're coming.
I don't want.
I got this.
Okay, I don't want you to burn them.
He can't remember if they're legal or not. Really don't. He's going to look it up in a bit. Okay, you look it up in a bit after the show. Okay, Dean.
Well, do you look at Canada has one cannabis market, 2 cannabis markets, or 3 cannabis markets?
Canada? 10.
3.
Canada.
Legacy.
I say there's.
I say 3.
Yeah.
Well, there's the gray market, the black market, and the legal market.
No, I think there's 4. There's 4.
What's the 4th?
Well, there's legal. There's indigenous. That's 2. Then we have. I guess it's. I want to say there's the gray market, and then there's the black market.
Well,
I put indigenous into the gray market.
Yes.
No. No, they have their own. They have their own. It's their own color. I think the government is calling it the red market.
Oh God,
which doesn't make sense.
I've heard red market.
I thought it was. I thought it was very racist of them to say that because
I think so too.
The Indian and the red. Anyways,
that's fucking ridiculous.
But I say the indigenous, the legal, then I say the gray, and then the black. And to me, the difference between the gray and the black is the black. Sorry, the gray are the people who are currently illegal but trying to make it legal, like make their business legal. And then you have the black market who's just like, fuck you, I'm going to sell what I want, where I want, when I want to.
But you're serious. There are people calling the indigenous market the red market. That's
what I've heard.
Vulgar. That is vulgar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's vulgar. Yeah. Speaking of which, next week we're going to have a few people from the indigenous market on the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Next Friday. Hey, do you know what tomorrow is?
I'm assuming so, Marcel. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
We already talk about tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Or this weekend.
Is nope, we have tomorrow is the Karma Cup starts, and I'm going to be joining Al and his crew tomorrow like we used to do. And then on Sunday Al is going down because he's got a prior thing he has to go to, so on Sunday he's going to go down and I'm going to join in and
there'll be Irene and I will be down there on Sunday.
Yes.
So there'll be 2 cameras. Are you going down Sunday?
I'll be there.
So Al's gonna run the board, and
so
he's
you
gonna
should
have
come in
that.
As well, Mary Jane.
She burnt herself. Is that skin in the burgers now?
It's burnt Mary Jane, not burnt burgers. Come and get it.
And so we'll have
burgers. So anyways, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, so basically we'll have 2 cameras on the ground.
Well, and what we started doing. Can you mute for cooking, Mary Jane? Do you mind?
No.
Please? Okay. This is what we started doing 12 years ago. Before I met Al, before I met Marcel and everybody. Me and the crew that I was working with then, Dave and Brian, we used to go and remotely via Skype walk around at all the events. And then Al and I started doing stuff together, and I showed him what I like to do, and he started doing it. And so we're going to go back to what we started doing, but with video, as I guess we should have done in the first place. But when we started doing it, Marcel and I were talking earlier, when we started doing this, Cannabis Culture was at the events, and Jeremy was wheeling around a cart with his computer equipment on it. And I was walking around with a computer in my hand, and cords there, and Marijane attached to me, and Al attached to whoever he was with, and we would. I really enjoy it. I don't know if anybody got into listening what we were doing. I hope that people will watch, because I love the Karma Cup. It is the best event in Toronto every year, and I'm glad Sarah pulled it off again. Well, we'll see if she does tomorrow.
Yeah, it's run by the legacy market, and the people who are involved in it, the vendors and stuff, people who've been, who are well known in the legacy market are there.
And it is a contest. There is an actual event.
Oh yeah.
Where you can vote and
there.
And
I'm
I
not
actually
sure.
entered this year. That's why I'm like, I'll be there Sunday. I want to see how I did.
Hey, Al,
yes,
my buddy, a really, really close friend of mine, he entered his hash into the cup this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and I got to try. I think I got to try what he sent in, and it was fucking really good.
I miss some of the regulars that used to win every year, like Thompson Caribou.
The gone, eh?
No, they're still, the guys are still around. Thompson Caribou got absorbed, I think, but
yeah, I believe so too. Along with others, there's lots of people that have been absorbed into the system.
Oh, fuck yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at Matt Murnaugh. Sorry, Matt. It's a joke.
He was with them. He was one of the early ones.
Yes, he was. He went to Peace Naturals.
Peace Naturals, correct? Yeah, exactly. I had friends that was running a compassion center that got bought up.
Yeah, but Matt was one of the first really, really vocal community members that got absorbed into the legal market. He really was.
Yeah. And people got upset at him.
A lot of people got upset with Marcel. I just saw a post.
Yeah.
I just saw a post, Marcel.
About me?
No, about us. When you guys, when you started working at Truro, and then, and it was like, welcome to the new logo of the Canadian government and legal weed or something like that. They actually took the time to put the Nova Scotia Liquor Commission logo on our logo page there that I used.
That was nice of them.
Yes, it was. Yeah. If I find it again, I'll send it to you. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah. I mean... I had an agenda, and my agenda was to go in and change that regime from the inside out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say that the direction that the company took was not the direction that I wanted.
Well, you're allowed to make a change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If the company doesn't want to concentrate on medical and wants to go after the recreational market, then there's nothing I want to do with that company.
Now, saying that, I mean, a job is a job.
Right.
And at this point, we're, what are we in now? 3.5 years?
Well, before in October, right?
Yeah,
okay,
4 in October.
And that's only next month.
Okay, so 3 years. Or sorry,
4 years.
4 years.
Less a month. And I mean, get over it. If somebody from a legal company said, hey, Al, we'd like to give you a job. This is what you'll make. This is what we'd like you to do. And if I could fucking do that job, I would probably accept it. Not because it's the legal market, but because it's an adventure in a market that I enjoy and want to be a part of.
It's also you also spoke
financially. You make a lot of money in the market if you do it right. You can also lose.
For years, what did you do for years before legal cannabis got here? You advocated for legal cannabis.
I did.
Right? It medical, legal, recreational legal cannabis.
I've never advocated for legal cannabis.
Yeah, okay,
I can honestly say, and the reason being is I never wanted legalization. I wanted a repeal of all the laws of cannabis.
Yeah.
Right.
And well, I believe Al, Electro Pig. That was his.
Yep.
That was his. And
I have
that's
not.
he always.
Years.
Yeah. He'd send me messages. Repeal.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. But you're right.
We used to have him on the show monthly, dude. I mean, he was.
Oh yeah.
He's a riot, and he knows what he's talking about until he goes off and he goes too far. Which happens.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah, there's a few of us that go too far sometimes.
So
Dale goes too far.
So there's still lots and lots of room for improvement. We need those lounges back. Like that, we lost lounges because of cannabis legalization. That's not right.
There are some experiments going on in Toronto right now. I wish I had known that before I had made my rush to the north. I may have stuck around, seriously. Because that's something that I really wanted to do. Up here, it wouldn't work. There's a little cafe here, and they sell ice cream more than anything.
Okay, but you're talking about job security in the legal market.
Yeah.
Right.
But is there any job security?
I was going to say, is that a thing?
Here's an interesting article about 2 more cannabis companies file for creditor protection.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Super Red Inc. Owns 6 marijuana stores in Toronto and Ottawa, and they face immediate liquidity crisis driven in a large part by the distressed state of the cannabis retail market. So Super Red owes money, and they can't pay it. They only made $447,000 out of 6 stores.
The market will dictate who survives and who dies.
Yeah.
That way here, at least here in Ontario, right? Because like in New Brunswick, there's Cannabis NB. There's not too many, if any, private stores. I don't know what the other provinces are like down there, but I know Glenn, because Glenn's on our Reefer Reporters. He's in New Brunswick, and there's just here, there's people complain about too many stores. Well, it's down there. It seems like they could use some more stores.
I don't know if you guys saw this on Facebook, but Sarah has just announced the address for Karma Cup.
I did see that. It's West End, somewhere around the stockyards.
130.
I don't want to give the. Are we allowed to debate that? Are we allowed to do that?
It's
like we just tell people go to the Karma Cup website, and it's now on there. I don't know. I was just going to tell people it's around the stockyard.
Karma Cup website, so it's 131 McCormick Street, and it is out in the West End. There's pictures and maps and the address and TTC accessible, free parking.
Is there a streetcar or
there is the St. Clair streetcar or the Weston bus, 41 and 89.
I don't know why when she assumed that it was along the TTC route that it meant like it was close to a subway station. Ooh. I don't know why.
I just yeah, I took it as it could, being that I just took it could be anything. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
well, good for her for making it like able to get by transit, because like
correct.
I think
Yeah,
that's
we
always
need
been one of the things that she's really tried to do, is because there are a lot of people, even though it's primarily the recreational market, she's always tried to make it accessible to people who can't necessarily get around too easy, right? Being outside, she's been able to do that. Inside, she can't do that, right?
Oh, stairs
Right.
suck.
Yep.
Stairs really suck, Al.
Yeah, I
Just,
don't like them much either, buddy.
just like trimming. Trimming sucks, and so do stairs.
Yeah, but you have friends that can help you with trimming.
Yeah, my wife helps me crawl up the stairs every night to go get a shower, so God love her.
How are things different for you now? I know you're outside now as opposed to inside, Al. Are you finding it any different growing?
Yeah. The hydro bill, the hydro bill will be a lot different, I'll tell you.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
You know, and yeah, it's different because I'm not doing you know, it's a whole new routine. You know, I'm not harvesting every few months, right?
No, you're just harvesting a lot more once.
Yeah. Well, I do have some friends that can help with that.
Send me the address.
Send me the address. Yeah. So I'm working on my.
She's willing to do it clothed or unclothed. So
as long as your wife is there, we're all good.
But what I would suggest is do not trim in the weed, or in the nude, because that stuff is going to stick.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
At least it'll brush off your clothes, but it ain't going to brush off your junk. You're going to be sitting there picking it off.
Oh God.
Got to think these things through.
I think I have a dead outlet.
I have to tell you a story, though.
Oh no.
We were interviewing new people for a licensed producer.
Yeah.
And one of the interviewees, a young girl, was asking some questions. And one of the questions she asked in dead seriousness was, what do you wear when you're working? And I said, we supply you with surgical scrubs, hairnet, mask, gloves, eye protection, everything. She said, so it's not like you see on TV where everybody's sitting around with no clothes on.
Well,
because she honestly thought that's how, you know, it's a drug company. That's how they do all the drugs, is they all have to sit there with no tops on when they're packaging up their cocaine.
Oh dear.
Right? But she honestly thought she would have to work half nude.
Well,
in a cannabis facility.
Sometimes movies lie about jobs. Other times they don't. Like I called an escort company.
Business, not the weed business.
I called an escort company and full out asked them, "Is there sex involved in this?" And he said, "Legally, I'm not allowed to say yes to that question."
Yeah.
And I said, "So wait, is sex involved or not?" And he said, "Ma'am, legally, I cannot say yes to that question." I was like, "Oh, so there is."
Yeah.
That's not good.
But that's the first thing I would think of when I hear escort company. And I understand that there's escorts that just go to dinner or
I'm
to
a pretty
an event.
woman.
Right? But
like pretty woman.
To me, typically, if you're getting an escort, it's for the happy time at the end.
Or at the beginning. However you want to put your night.
Yeah.
The happy end.
Maybe before and after, whatever. It's
maybe
money.
maybe he just wants to cuddle.
Yeah. But regardless, it's his money, and it'll be your money if you're doing it. So.
Hey, Darcy.
What's that?
Have you got stuff prepared for our grow segment?
Yeah, I got some stuff prepared in my head, Al.
All right, let's take a 1 minute break here, and we'll be back.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not.
That's
Why
not a break. That's not a break. You say we're going to take a short pause.
We're not allowed to play music anymore.
What?
Yeah.
We can't play any music anymore.
No,
Can
we
we play
can.
like a monologue?
I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna play this in the background here.
Oh, to get the whole show booted off.
Yeah.
No, this is the music. This will be our break music.
Holy fucking Jesus!
Would you rather some rock? Here, here's some rock.
I could deal with that.
I don't think he does that thing.
All right, we'll be right back.
What is that?
Hey, this is Cheech. This is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Woo!
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Are you an independent musician? How would you like to have your songs played on hundreds of radio stations just like the one you're listening to right now? Join MusicSubmit.com and we'll promote your music to radio stations and blogs in your genre. It's free to set up your account, and we guarantee your music will be considered for airplay by radio stations worldwide. Why not sign up today? It's free. MusicSubmit.com. Radio promotion for indie musicians.
This is how we grow the weed.
You ever heard that before, Al?
What's that?
That's
the music?
Darcy.
No, I didn't. It all says it tells me. It tells me to tap for sound, but I was well. The break was going on. I was setting up my lighting system. So I'm still outside. There we go.
In the dark.
I got lights. In the dark. I'm no longer in the dark.
It's
I actually
black
have
here
more
now.
Getting there.
Yeah, I can still see sky above you. I can't see sky here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, eh? Well, I guess. Yeah, because you're an hour ahead of us.
Yep. Our sun set sooner.
Yes.
Well, where's Darcy in the grow segment? We heard the music.
I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
Oh, well, they played the music.
Yeah, and then Al said, have you heard that one yet, Al?
Yeah, that's right. I did.
You did.
I did.
We all heard you except for Darcy.
Okay, Darcy, are you listening, Darcy?
I can hear you, yes, Al.
Do it again. Play it again.
All right. This is how we grow the weed.
Yeah, it's my phone.
It's his phone.
It's not playing through.
It's his phone.
It's all right. All right, Darcy, you're up.
I was just going to say I was going to talk a little bit about fertilization right now because I get a lot of questions saying my leaves are yellowing on my plant really bad.
I did this last week.
Did I really?
I did.
I thought I didn't hear you talk about that last week.
You weren't here.
Yes, I was.
Okay, then it was the week before I did it.
Oh, well, for fuck's sakes.
Well, it's okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, no, I was just going to say some of the time it can be fertilizer problems. But 9 times out of 10, it's likely just the leaves that are dying off because they're old.
That's what it is more likely this time of year.
How to distinguish that is that they'll start from the leaves that are closest to the inside of your stalk if you have any left. I usually don't leave any there just for airflow because you want more airflow if you want to get big colas. But regardless, those are the ones that are going to start yellowing first, your bigger leaves, and then you're going to start working your way up the plant. Now, if you start noticing your top leaves up around your top cola are starting to yellow off and the rest of your plant is still green, then you have an issue. So then obviously it could be one of two things. You could have a pH lockout and it's starting to really affect the plant because it can't uptake the proper nutrients at them levels. Anything higher than 6-8. 7, usually when you get around 7.1, you start dropping out a lot of nutrients. So the plant won't be able to uptake them. So you've always got to be careful for that. Especially if you're growing outdoors in the ground, not so much. If you're growing outdoors in pots, then you should really look at that and make sure that when you're watering just straight water to your plants, know your pH. Try to keep it in that range of I like to say for flowering 6 to 6.4, but for veg I like to say 5.7 to 5.9. 5.6 I like 5.6 too for some strains, but 5.7 to 5.9 for veg. But yeah,
I like 6 all the way across the board.
Well, this is what I'm saying. You figure out what works for you, right? I mean, if you use that's why Floramax's nutrients bring into things between 6 and 6.2. So for me it does. So
yeah, it depends on what your water is too.
Yes, well, my water here is right now is 7.5, which is really high. I mean, you could get away with one water with it, but if you're watering every day, after 2 or 3 days, you're going to start locking out nutrients. So, and you definitely don't want to have that happen, especially in mid flower, because it's going to sacrifice your bud size.
And if you're on municipal water, this is the time of year that they start to flush all of the fire hydrants.
I'm lucky. That doesn't happen here till October.
It's still the same thing. Well, October, you're almost done anyways. But it's something to keep in mind because your outside garden hose or your other hose, even inside your water supply at that period, you could have a much higher EC.
Oh, yes.
It's also when they bleach.
Well, no, they bleach all the time.
No, but mostly you can smell it going into winter and coming out in the spring. That's when I've noticed it the most.
Not here. I can't drink our tap water here.
Oh, the tap water is just fucking amazing up here. It's from Lake Superior. It's yummy.
It's Lake Superior. It's yummy.
My problem is the amount of chlorine.
It's the only lake that I know that looks like it's on fire all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's on fire every night, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I sit in my living room and I stare out the window and watch the moon or the sun or whatever in the clouds and everything, and the sky just lights right up. Yeah. I haven't gone down to the beach yet. I'm gonna.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's one thing to look for when your plants are starting to yellow. I usually pick them off ahead of time, but start picking them off. You should.
I just noticed mine are doing that. I'm going to go do that.
You should try to do a defoliant, especially in flower. You should try to do a defoliant at least every 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Don't pick too heavy. I know some people will say do a day 1 and then day 21 and then day 45. I think it is.
I have a question. When you're done, but I have a question.
Yeah, but in that way there, you let the plant do, because if you pick too much off at one time, especially in flower, you're sacrificing your bud size. You got to remember some of them big leaves are still needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solar panels.
Thank you, Al.
They're the ones that are bringing in the energy, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad someone said it. They're solar panels, man.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Darcy.
Yeah, no, you need them solar panels, man. Now, once you start seeing them starting to die off a little bit, and if you're a regular feeder and they're starting to die off, well, then obviously you know that your plant's starting to get mature, so it doesn't hurt to pull them off then. I like to say the last 3 weeks of flower, I usually strip my plants down pretty heavy. And then that last 3 weeks, I just let them let them do their thing. I find that little bit of extra stress makes them push out a little more trichomes.
Yeah, you want to push out trichomes at the end? Do what I
Oh.
used to do when it was only a few plants. And that's literally, I would go out with my trimmers while the plant's growing, start snipping off all the tips that don't have crystal.
Yeah, start trimming it up. Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
Do
I've
a
done that
pre-trim,
before.
take
Yeah.
all the tips of the leaves off that don't have crystals, and then let it go for another week. And you'll just get a massive bloom of crystal.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still.
I've never heard tell of it.
To go out now.
When you have a garden with over 6 or 10
It sounds-
plants, it's not something that you want
Would
to
you
do.
would you be almost like trimming it while it's still alive?
Yeah, definitely. So what I used to do is I'd go out and I'd remove all of the fan leaves, the big fan leaves. So anything with a leaf stem over 1.5 inches long was gone. Just, a couple weeks before harvest. Then usually about 4 days to a week right before I know I'm going to harvest, I would go out and trim off all the tips. So any tips that were growing out, sticking out of the bud that didn't have crystal on them, wasn't something that I wanted to bother with. Then
crystal. That's where the medicine
a
is.
week later, these things would just be nothing but a massive crystal. I would do my normal trim, so I'd have all of my crystal trim, as well as all my bud. It's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a lot of work.
Well, you're trimming your plant twice.
Yep.
Right?
You definitely
So
will.
This is why I say if you're running 4 plants, it's exactly how I would do it with the 4 plants.
Light shut off, Al?
Yeah,
blow a
my
bulb?
light is my light is getting on a low bulb. I had a light set up, and it worked on Wednesday night when I used the light last. But maybe I got a bad outlet out here all of a sudden. So what I'm going to do is when I'm done this joint, okay, I'm going to go inside. I'll go downstairs and I'll have some light. So, I guess it's faintly seeing me be no different than having an avatar, right? It's just I'm here.
Yeah, that's true.
In the dark.
And Lenny made it.
Hey,
Lenny.
How was the golfing?
Fucking awful. That was horrible.
Oh, really?
What did you shoot over, Lenny?
I shot 106.
Holy shit!
I haven't shot that high in like 5 years.
Isn't that like a par 75? That course?
Oh, it was god awful. It's called the
par 70. It's a par 72, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I had the yips and the yanks and the shanks and the whatever. Couldn't hit a ball. Forgot how to play golf in one day.
I love those days.
Hey, did you smoke a big fatty?
Even that went shitty on me. Hole 5 is like I'm playing so shitty, I may as well get high, and my fucking lighter didn't even work.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No,
I'd
I'm
be
not.
so pissed. I'd be so fucking pissed. I just walk off.
I
walk off the course.
I basically gave up on the day. I gave up in the day at that point. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Did Drew? Here's the question though.
No wonder your game is bad.
Drew sucked, but he shot better than me. Yeah.
Oh god, you'll never hear the end of that one.
No, he has nothing to brag about.
So, what was the lack of cannabis affected your game?
No, it was a lack of talent.
Lack of talent.
No, there's no excuse. It was my incompetence.
106. It's been a long time since I golfed, but if I had shot 106, I would have been really happy. So,
oh, did you?
Yeah,
I almost called the mental health hotline. Trust me.
Oh, Lenny, I shouldn't laugh, but that's bad.
It's funny. That's why Timmy doesn't consume cannabis. Is he tried bowling, and he was like, bowling score just went right down. So, like, I think people think that's a joke that he just jokes about that, but no, legit. He kept saying, My legs feel heavy.
Ah,
Going is like, why am I kept
we
doing this?
have bowling alleys here at the community center. They have
Do
public
you?
access alleys. Yeah, there's a bowling alley. There's a pool. There's weight room.
Is the bowling?
What do you call it? What do you call the big shuffleboard thing?
Shuffleboard?
Shuffleboard.
No, curling.
Curling.
Yeah,
Okay.
big difference between shuffleboard and curling, but yeah, okay, I can understand the similarity. Yeah.
Big shuffleboard.
Shit, really? That's shuffleboard and curling. Holy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've been holding this article all night because I know Lenny wants to talk about this article.
Okay, and
Which
I
one's
also
that?
make sure that Al gets a second because when we were talking the other day, he had a question.
Al had a question?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds
I
like
had
the
a
funniest thing
question.
ever.
Oh, Al, what's your question, dude?
What's my question? Okay, here. Let me. I'm almost.
Yeah, I wanna
I'm
know
moving
this
inside.
Almost inside.
Yeah. I don't want to walk into any of the bowls. Okay.
Dale wants you to make
Alright.
Marcel big so he can see the garden.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't trim those ones live.
Yeah. I'm just on my phone. That's why I
No?
have the camera on. I left my computer at work.
That's okay.
You're like me, Lenny. I'm on my phone too.
Yeah, but I just couldn't be bothered trying to hold it up in the camera, so I said, "Fuck it."
All right,
Yeah,
so
I
good
had
question.
mine sitting on my selfie stick, which turned into a tripod,
Oh, okay.
and that's what I was using, sitting outside there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
And
it came with a little light on it. You know.
Yeah. No, I got home from the golf, but usually I take my laptop home with me on the weekends. But because I left the golf course, I left my computer at work.
Yeah.
All right, Al, what's your question?
Okay.
We're still stunned that you have a question.
Okay. When it comes to these beverages that are out there that are available in the market, as I commented earlier, I can't drink carbonated beverages. So, is there a
I've had this
reason
discussion.
why everything seems to be carbonated? Is it can they not infuse, a liquid drink like a water? They call them drinks or whatever, or can they not do juices or anything along that line?
They
I'm
can.
pretty sure
Like,
I've
They
asked.
can. It's just that the demographic market is so stuck on carbonated beverages.
Seltzers and carbonation does hide taste a little bit. That's the other reason they do it.
Okay. I didn't know what it had anything to do with
You're adding cannabis, so right away you're adding shitty taste.
Yeah.
I like.
Well, yeah.
I heard it had to do with stabilization of product as well.
Probably. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Like
And
I mean,
to blend it with water. Don't get me wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong. Blah. Fucking don't they have nanotechnology or something like that?
Well, it's more about
it's got to be emulsification.
Yeah.
So you can do it with nanotechnology, and basically it's sound waves that vibrate the oil particles into such small molecules that they stay evenly dispersed in the liquid.
For longer,
but that's
or for good.
It's supposedly for good. I can't see it. To me, there's still going to be separation eventually, but it's not very cost effective because you can only really do small batches with this process, because large batch needs a lot more sound wave and a lot more vibration and things like that. So it's a certain frequency that they're using to do this, which is kind of, I mean, it's a cool technology, but on a mass scale, it would cost you way too much. You'd price yourself out of the market.
So it's not as if they can. It's not as if they're putting some fermented cannabinoids into the beverage or anything
Well,
along that
that's
line.
an option, but they could also take a beverage and add in an emulsification, right? Another simple one that they could easily do is a chocolate milk, because the chocolate would hide the taste of the cannabis, and because of the fat in the milk, it would keep it evenly dispersed.
There's a couple people
So that
that
was
sell
still
powder that you just mix with your water too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you
Tom,
can get powder
Thompson
for
Hair
throwing
Care.
into your hot chocolate, or you can get teas, right?
I drink I drink I don't really, the only hot drink I do is hot chocolate because I drink it to get me warm. But other than that, I just drink
Well,
because I'm thirsty, right? And coffee tastes like shit, right?
They're just trying
But
to mirror. They're just
throw
trying to
hot
mirror
chocolate in your
beer and
coffee.
seltzers, and they're just trying to mirror the beer and
yeah,
seltzer.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all they're doing.
stuff like that. Yeah.
the
Like I've
demographic
had
pushes it towards the carbonated.
there's the one there, the dissolvables, like Ripple. I've tried them in straight water, and I've tried them in a flavored beverage like a Gatorade. I've tried the sugars, that way, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I know that in the indigenous market, I do have access to a place that makes beverages that's not carbonated, and the product's all tested. So, if the product I need isn't available yet on the legal market, it makes it very hard for me to find it in the store.
Right.
That's going to be changing soon, though. Apparently, CBD is going to be legal or something like that soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
No, they will. It's just when.
When.
They're going to leave it alone.
They're
They're going to treat it like weed, right? Or like I mean,
yeah.
Stuff, right? Yeah, right. They will. They'll excise tax it
Well, I know
that like they did with everything else.
Yeah.
There's
aren't they getting it so that
all of those companies but all of those companies that I was talking about earlier that are filing for credit protection and everything else, the one thing they all have in common is how much money they owe Revenue Canada in taxes.
Yeah. I've read some articles on that very thing. But yeah.
Anyways, let's go back to this article.
Well, I didn't realize it was an option not to pay health or CRA.
Well, what you do is you don't pay them, and so till you owe them like $1.4 million, like some of these guys, and then you claim for credit or protection.
Yeah.
Because they've run you out of your market, and then they'll probably give you a forgiven loan or something like that and pay it off, and all will be good in your world.
Yeah,
you got to use the scams that everybody else is doing there, Lenny.
That's not in me.
I know. Anyways, let's go to this one. The 7 best marijuana strains for overall good health and disease prevention.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. And this is from the Fresh Toast, who is the most trusted name in cannabis. Never heard of them.
Have you? Yeah, we
Did you
use
say French toast?
Fresh toast.
Fresh.
Sorry, that must be
fresh toast.
Hungry.
Yeah, now I want French toast. Thanks, you fucker.
Oh, French toast would be good right now.
Yeah,
so,
with berries.
What they've done is they've listed 2 strains in each of their categories. And they say the best strains for pain relief are Blackberry Kush and Harlequin. Agree or disagree?
Heard of.
Yeah.
It's not that I actually am a Harlequin fan, but to say that they're the best top 2
The
strains.
weed, not the books, buddy.
No, the weed too. I know what you're talking about, but I like it a lot. But to say what I get all cranky about is like, it says fucking who.
Exactly. Well, and this is the thing, is they don't say who is saying this.
Yeah, and there's no reference, there's no study, there's no anything. So it's just like,
I'd like to see we surveyed 100 people and they
yes,
said
even fucking
Yeah,
Family
even if
Feud
they
has
said
a
that.
survey.
Yeah, but they've listed 2 completely different types of strains in this. Blackberry Kush, all right. They listed at 13 to 15% THC with 0.8 to 1.27 CBD.
It's asinine that anybody can even state this shit. That's why. Go ahead.
But here's how they have it written. Blackberry Kush has been known for long as one of the strains that relieve pain, among other things. Given its level of THC, it is quite strong and known to treat severe headaches and migraines while also releasing an uplifting effect to the user. Some users say it also helps with eating and sleeping disorders, anxiety, and stress.
Yeah, so there's all the other weed I fucking smoke.
Right. I could list you 1,000 strains that have that same characteristic, right?
Yeah.
Harlequin is different because
does
Harlequin is a high THC or a high CBD strain at 11.1.
Yeah.
Correct.
And a THC of 5 to 8.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
yeah,
it's not going to get you as high, but it's still going to be effective. But there's others, right? So,
but to say it's like the top 7 or whatever, like, it's like there's no evidence to support
you just said Harlequin is effective, but it's not for me. I hate Harlequin.
Yeah.
Anytime I've tried it, it does absolutely nothing. It actually makes me anxious.
For your pain?
Yeah.
Which is the point I was kind of getting at too. Besides there being no studies or references, anyone that says a strain is good for this is full of shit. Cannabis is individualized.
Yeah.
Do you know what people
they should say for me afterwards, like for
me. No, because even that doesn't work. Because I've had people come to me and they'll say, "Well, what's the best strain for multiple sclerosis?" And my answer is always the same: cannabis.
Yeah.
You go through as many different strains until you find the one that works the best for you.
Exactly.
Because everybody's what works for me may not work for you.
Yeah, so many different things going on inside our bodies that you can't just say, I'm the same as you, even though we are both, suffering from the same things or the same age or the same gender or.
Well, here's the best strains for inflammation.
Each strain, though, is also, as we've discussed many times, patient specific, like individual specific. It's not. Yeah. It's not like I've got strains that I can't use, and like they just make me pissy, and I won't use.
Well, like White Widow.
Yeah, exactly that one. Yeah.
Right.
I know because it's one of my favorites.
AK-47.
So
see if any of them are in the list.
AK-47
so
does that.
Best strains for inflammation. So what's everybody think are the best strains for inflammation? Let's do it this way.
I look at
Violator.
Afghani. I would say Afghani strains. But as far as an exact strain, geez,
would Hindu Kush be Afghani?
The Hindu,
say all of them, to be honest.
What'd you say, Lennie?
All of them.
Right. So here's their list: is Girl Scout cookies.
I like that one.
And AC/DC.
Yeah, again, two strains I like, but to say they're the best 2 for inflammation, that's fucked.
AC/DC is a high CBD strain, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, up to 19% with only 4%, up to 4% THC.
Hey, Marcel.
It's considered a CBD plant.
Hey, Marcel.
Yeah.
I just got a funny suspicion that all these strains, if you were to click on them, they would take you to a seed bank, and it would only sell them strains.
No, it takes you to. Ask grower strain reviews.
Ash grower.
Dale, say what you just said in the chat, please. Dale.
Just read it for him.
Everybody's systems are unique.
Which is true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is
All right.
Now,
so
I think with Mary Jane or someone said, like, we surveyed 100 people voted for their top ones. This are the results. You could publish that.
So here are the best strains to fight fatigue. Synex. I'd never heard of Synex.
Neither have I.
Up to 17% THC, 1% CBD. But I can guarantee you I could take Synex, grow it, and have it put you to sleep. Just by letting the THC turn to CBN, and I don't care how much THC it's got. Once it starts getting CBN, you're having a nap. So it's not going to fight fatigue if it's cold. Canatonic, I've never thought of canatonic as keeping you awake.
No.
But fatigue is different. Fatigue is different in this, and because fatigue isn't tired. Because you can be wide awake but suffer from fatigue. And then the best strain for insomnia to put you to sleep, motor breath. Motor breath would wake me right up.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked motor breath. Wouldn't have been my top pick.
What is that, an East Coast special or something? You guys all on the East Coast are like, yeah, motor breath, no. And we're like, in Ontario, we're like, what the fuck is motor breath?
Oh, really?
Al have never heard of it.
Never.
I've never heard of it.
Heard of it. No.
I think I think it's at OCS now. Like I think it's out in the legal market now.
I got seeds of it here in my freezer.
It was created by Pisces Genetics, and they took a cross of ChemDog and SFVOG Kush.
San Fernando Valley.
Yeah. And they cross them together and they come out with Motor Breath, which is a really strong diesel-y lemon strain. And it's a sativa dominant hybrid.
Oh.
That
they're telling you to use it for insomnia?
And they would use that for insomnia. And I'm thinking that these people obviously didn't. Due to its high levels of THC, this strain leaves the user with a relaxing high, and even the most stubborn insomniac is likely to be knocked out. Other common uses include pain relief for arthritis, bipolar disorder, and muscular dystrophy.
Really? Bipolar?
Well, motor breath was indica, but I don't recall it knocking me the fuck out.
Motor breath is sativa dominant.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know myself when it comes to sativa strains, they don't. They're a problem.
I mean, if you took the motor breath and you grew it, you flowered it for 16 weeks. Flower motor breath for 16 weeks, and it'll put you to sleep.
16 weeks. Oh, God.
Well, let the CBD, let the THC convert to CBN.
CBN.
How long does that take?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you start seeing them turn amber, once the heads start turning amber is when it starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Your cloudy milky period is your high THC. Once that cloudy milky starts turning amber, that's CBN. So when I harvest, I use my little microscope and I go out and diligently check and look around. And as soon as I see a few of those starting to turn, I chop it down. I don't need anything to put me to sleep. I close my eyes, I go to sleep. So I don't want CBN, but I want the maximum that I can get of THC.
Like 2 strains that make me sleepy is one is True OG, which Churro does, but Gorilla Glue usually makes me sleepy.
I'm having some biscotti, and that's gonna put me to sleep soon.
But I find I've grown a lot of strains over the years, and the one that I found that works the best for my muscle spasms and stuff and my pain is Romulan. I haven't found a strain that works as good as Romulan does, man. I don't know what it is.
Romulan last week, and I loved it.
I don't know what it is.
Have you tried Violator Kush or Hindu Kush?
I like Hindu.
Yeah, like
Violator,
I find people who need
Violator's
the
got more
really
of it.
heavy indicas, the landrace strains are the ones to go.
I find Violator has more of a gassy flavor to it.
That Violator is my go-to, like, relax everything.
There's 16 different Romulan strains.
Wow.
I like the one that I liked. I bought from Mark Emery back in 2006, 2007. And I grew it then, and then the other one I had was the Romulan 7 of 9, and it was really good too. But I like the straight Romulan. It wasn't done till the second week of October, but them buds were snow white. You couldn't see it for crystal.
Yeah,
and it's just
nice.
Relaxed me.
It's a great strain, but I've heard other people say the same thing about Alaska Thunderfuck. If you can get real Alaskan Thunderfuck.
I agree with that, and I grew it for a couple of gardens, and then I stopped.
What, the Alaskan?
Yeah.
ATF does nothing but make me horny. Everything else, nothing. No other effect.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Excuse me.
Get me some ATF.
Okay, I have a question that I need.
Well,
then I'll be DTF.
How did maybe that's why it's called that.
Yeah.
Strains get the names for a reason.
What, like stripper spit?
I have a question for Marcel.
Sure.
I got that stuff that you told me to get from Canadian Tire last week.
Yep.
And it's pellets.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I do it? How much do I use?
Use about, your pot size, I would say about a quarter of a cup for the pot, each pot. Scrape up the dirt, put a quarter cup in, scrape it around a bit, and then water it really good. And then that will start feeding you. Just so you know, Ask Growers says there's 8,576 strains of cannabis found so far.
What'd you say, Marcel?
8,000.
8,576.
More than that. Go to Seed Finder. There's over 15,000, I think, there now.
Probably.
Found or created?
Well, this is what they've got found.
Seed Finder.
21.
Wow.
They got 26,128 different varieties of cannabis.
Right now?
That's what the Seed Finder tells me.
Right, but if you start going and looking at some of those, you're going to find basically somebody took a Hindu Kush and crossed it with Girl Scout cookies and named it something. Somebody else turned around, took the same Hindu Kush, same Girl Scout cookies, crossed them, called it something different.
Yep.
Right? But these guys have done is they've gone through and looked at the genetics of each strain and then picked them out based off their genetics.
So they'd be they wouldn't be polyhybrids then.
No. So you've got wedding cake, ice cream cake, gelato, apple fritter, gushers, mimosa, northern lights, peanut butter breath, right? But you don't have
Northern Lights.
You don't have peanut butter breath being called something different, just peanut butter or something else, right?
Peanut butter.
So they've taken the most popular of those. Zuki's, Wedding Crasher. They got a lot of strains on here. Well, 8,500 strains. 429 pages.
But you also remember here too, Marcel, there's 1,439 known breeders.
And how many?
Yeah, like how you emphasize known.
There's 200 million backyard breeders around the world easily. Because anybody that grows out the crop and then after the 4 weeks didn't catch that male, they now have a seed crop. Oh, and it tastes like this, so let's give it this name, and they pump a name out.
Yeah, by the way, I'm apologizing to Dale right now. Don't kill me if you start noticing a few seed in your plant. I left 2 plants by my doorstep when I moved that were in the ground. I assumed someone would have dug them out by now, but from what I was told the other day, they were still there, and I don't know if they're male or female. So, if you can find someone to take a look, you might want to.
Oh, dun dun dun!
Go knock on the neighbor's door and say, "Hey, can I kill that male plant in your yard?"
Darcy.
What's that?
They probably think it's a female, and they're all excited because they're like, "Yay, free weed!"
While you were away, Dale was all over the fact that he really missed you when you moved, and now you tell him this. You're
he still missed me. Hey, just be thankful he's not the other neighbor that has plants. He's a lot closer.
Yeah.
But no, I assume someone would have ripped them out by now, but apparently they were still there.
We got a little bit to go still. I want to make sure we talk to Al.
No, fuck Al.
Oh, we've been talking to. You've been talking to.
We're gonna talk to Al.
So Al, you moved to the new location in the spring. So you're growing outdoors now.
Yeah, I'm outdoors now.
So how are your plants looking?
Good. Really happy with them. I can tell you that much. And I even put a plant in the ground in the middle of August. Because it was a strain that I had grown this strain for 10 years, and I lost it. And it just turns out that at one point I had given it to a friend of mine, Glenn Prentice. He's a reefer reporter with us on the network, and I gave him some clones 8 years ago when he moved to the East Coast. And it turns out he's still growing that strain. So this summer we got together and he brought me some cuttings, and I turned around and got them rooted and the whole bit and started growing. So I've thrown one of them outside to let it grow and give me some bud off of it. I don't know how much I'll get off of it, but it'll give me some bud. So I know what I'm looking forward to when the other cuttings that are growing get bigger and I finally get them to go to bloom properly. But, right now I just threw this one outside so I could, get that taste, right? So,
yeah,
it was good stuff. It was a strain called Humber Valley Kush.
How long have you been growing your own?
I've been growing my own ever since I've been licensed. And I was actually growing some before then. So, I've had my license for 16 years. So I would say growing my own for 20 years or whatever.
Now, question.
In that area.
Were you looking for some photographs of your cannabis plants? Because I know a photographer that's looking to build their portfolio.
You're more than welcome.
Outdoor crops. Outdoor crops are always more pretty than indoor, because indoor you've always got the room. You got the room, right?
Yeah. I've been taking pictures. Yeah, I've been taking some pictures with the sun in behind the plant.
Yes.
I've been taking pictures with even like ladybugs on them, the bees buzzing around on them. Orlana.
I found a grasshopper on mine the other day, and I was like, "Oh, it's so cute!" And I took a bunch of photos, and then I went and Googled, "Are grasshoppers bad for cannabis?" And then I went outside, and I was like, "Get off my plant!
Yes,
get off!"
He will eat the shit out of you, MJ.
Wait, is that a bad thing? No, my plant. Oh, my plant.
naughty today.
Sorry, you guys are setting me up.
Wow. No,
You know,
he
one
won't
thing
beat
that I
the shit out of
found.
you.
Oh.
I'm getting ready for
I
karma.
would.
I have an event tomorrow. I'm sorry.
You know, I was really hoping that growing outside would reduce the amount of watering time because, you know, it's supposed to rain.
Yeah,
but
this summer's been
it was a
humid
really
and
really dry summer. And, you know, I have
Question: Are
access
you,
to a.
Al? Are you guys suffering with powdery mildew this year? I know we are here.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I haven't seen any yet on my plants. Not yet. I know the
If he's
strain
got
that
a
I'm
dry,
growing, which
if he's got a dry summer, then
Well, it's been dry, but it's been humid.
well, how do you get dry and humid?
Because it doesn't rain, yet
no,
it's
they're
still
totally.
fucking humid. No, it's
But that's
dry
not
as in
dry.
it doesn't rain, but it's humid. So you
Okay,
still have
so-
to water your plants.
So
like
it's
the
not
soil
dry.
isn't.
You got to water your plants anyways because the plants drink water. Even if it rains, it may not get down
like
to the
you
soil at the plant.
Need water too. Everybody needs water.
Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, everybody needs water.
when it's raining out, I'll go and check to make sure that the soil is actually getting wet. If it's not, I know I'm going to be watering that night.
Yeah. And what's a good time to water? Like around dinner time?
The sun's gone.
After
They
the
honest-
sun's gone, yeah.
Honestly, what they say for like if you start reading grow books and things like that, a lot of them will tell you to water in the morning. And feed
Before
in the
the sun
morning
comes up.
before the sun comes up.
Well, because they're already wet anyways, right?
Right, they're wet from dew.
But you don't
overnight dew.
water the plant like it's raining. You water the soil.
Right, so you can
Right?
do
Like, you
that
don't
when
have
the
to-
sun comes up.
Yeah.
But ideally, spraying your plants with water isn't feeding your plants. It's just watering the leaves and washing dust and dirt, and pollen and crap off of the plant. And well, I guess it's foliar feeding, but you're only giving it water.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So you're literally just replacing rain. But don't do that when it's
But
flowering.
if you water, like if you water at night, doesn't that also allow it to absorb into the ground before the sun works on it, making it evaporate?
That's always been my theory, and that's the way I do it. I water in the evenings.
That's the way I do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I
water.
do it. Yeah, same here.
And my basic schedule is
Mary
water
Jane
one
is
night,
water
feed
right
the
now.
next night.
Yeah. That
Mary
was so.
Jane
If you're
is water.
growing indoors, so if you're growing indoors, that would mean you would grow before you would water before your lights went out. But I actually did the opposite.
Water before your lights go on.
Oh.
Indoors, I go with auto pots, so they're getting watered all the time.
Or water just. They're in water all the time. Okay, well then.
Yeah, like I'll
they're
use if I'm
aquaponics, I
growing
guess, or
in.
something along that line.
No, they're a bottom feed system.
Okay.
Auto pots have been around for years. It's basically it's your soil pot sitting in a tray with a float valve, and the float valve regulates water from a reservoir.
It's a plant bathroom.
You can feed that way, but up until this year, you would be taking apart your float valve every week to clean all the salts and stuff because it would clog up and jam and then your plant's starving. But now Floramax come out with system maintenance, and you add that to your reservoir, and that prevents anything from building up on your lines and your float valve. So I tried it this year because normally what I do is indoor, if I'm using auto pots, I'll feed just nothing but water in the auto pot, and I'll top feed. So every second day I'll go in and I'll feed from the top. The system maintenance, even if you're reservoir starts to grow in the algae, as soon as you put the system maintenance in, it's gone. It clears the water instantly.
So no algae grows
So
in there. That's good.
That's been
No.
a huge problem for those lines forever.
Exactly. So I mean, it
well,
worked. So I did a test growth of the plants that went out this year. The mother plants were in those autopots, and that's what I did is I ran system maintenance with just the water to see. And I'm confident enough now that I could run my nutrients through there, which means they're being constantly fed, which means I have to cut back on the amount of nutrients I give them, because top feeding, I tend to feed them more. Or I'm growing hydroponics and they're all in water, right? So if I do deep water culture, then they're all water plants, so I don't have to worry about that whole issue.
Sure. Exactly. Now, when being that I've never had my medical garden outside till now, and when I was growing outside in the past, it was years ago. The thing that I've found that I haven't really looked into a lot, but I hadn't heard about until 2 years ago, and that was washing your cannabis when you're harvesting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anybody wash their outdoor cannabis where you got like 3 pails, and you've got one with water, one with another one with like peroxide in it, another one that rinses it, and apparently it removes.
I know people that do that.
A lot of that's to remove powder mildew and stuff.
Yeah.
Mold,
and like any sort of pest, bugs. But then you have to worry about what you're doing with wet cannabis, because now you just washed your cannabis.
Yeah, you want to make sure you hung it.
You got to hang it and fan it. You got to hang it and fan it, but don't blow too much air on it too fast. You don't want the water.
Don't you agitate the trichomes too?
You got to lightly agitate it with your hands back and forth.
Yeah, but you can't use a hot water and you can't use a cold water.
No, I let mine get.
What temperature should the water be?
Outdoor.
Room temperature. Outdoor. So have you done it before? It sounds.
I've done it before. Yes.
What we've done is we found a better way. It's called water curing. If you're really that concerned, cure it in jars.
Water curing.
Yeah. So you
dry it in the jar as well.
We saw half a dozen articles about water curing last year. It was really big thing going on, but I've never tried it before.
Yeah.
So basically, after you've cut and trimmed your bud, you throw it in a jar and then fill it up with water.
Gets rid of any really.
And it washes everything off, and you leave it there for 2 or 3 days, tipping it over and rinsing the water, and then you strain off all the water, and then you re-dry all that bud. And you have
correct. So you have to do it right as you're trimming it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I guess too, it would be like if somebody couldn't hang, that would be an option where they could take their buds and like in a strainer container and dunk them in the water, pull it back up, and then put it on their rack to allow them to dry.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, because you don't want to take dry buds. You don't want to take dry buds and stick them in the water, right? You want to. You want to obviously do this.
Some people
fresh.
Some people, when they're drying their buds, they're not completely dry and they don't have proper airflow, and they end up with mold.
Mm-hmm.
Mold.
So water curing is a good way to get rid of any mold.
Yeah, and it just be straight water in the water. Yeah. Yeah, because I had never heard of it, and I did a Google search on it, and I found a video by Jorge Chevrier that was 9 years old, and I thought, what? Like I had never heard of anybody washing their cannabis, and I just I thought, geez, is that something that is more common now? And people is that's what they recommend.
I honestly think
as Mary Jane says, it's the bugs and.
Yeah, but I think it's less common now because it was kind of like the old hippie handbook would do that. So what were some of the other cool things? The ones that actually let it go until after the first frost.
Yeah.
And then they harvest after it's been after the frost has hit it and burns the tips of the leaves and things like that.
I know a lot of people still do that.
Yeah, and they do that, and
stresses the plant out.
It stresses the plant, but they say that it ends up with a much sweeter taste as well.
Really? I can remember seeing some photos online of in Colorado getting hit with a snowstorm, and people's outdoor gardens fucking getting covered in snow.
And I said that happen here.
Right quick, Al. Right quick, Al. I want to say something to that right quick because my phone's only got 2% left here, and I don't want to be rude.
Hurry, say it.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate always talking to you, man. And in the Himalayas over there in the Hindu Kush region, MJ, they don't harvest some of them plants until it snows on them.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I guess that just ups the CBN too, right?
It makes trimming easier too.
It's just that's when they harvest them over there. There's something because they're making a lot of hash out of that, right? So it does something to make the hash the quality of hash that it is, right?
Hey Al.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our people where they can find your people?
Okay, we're at paceradio.net. You can find all our programming there. Everything is listed from every day of the week all the way down through. And everything is there as far as the video as well as the audio podcasts of all the shows.
And if you want to listen to really old Pace Radio shows, they're all on our YouTube channel. And I think there's 40 or so Spreaker as well. And I play I play really like whatever I have in my catalog. It triggers at 8 o'clock on Sunday, so you can listen to a really old Pace Radio, or you can listen to a new one.
And
Pace Radio.
The old shows,
and you can check out Karma
whether
Cup there
it's
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from the Karma Cup. Green Irene's going to be there. Now, I have to go to a celebration of life tomorrow afternoon, so we're going to broadcast earlier in the day, basically from when it opens at 10 o'clock. Somewhere in that area, we're going to go live. She's got a judging pass, so she can go in. She won't have to get in line. But our plan is to speak to people who, like Sarah mentioned on Tuesday when Green Irene was talking to her, that she doesn't want to line up. Al, you saw the lineup a couple of years ago. It was down the street, around the corner, down the street, around the corner, and then down around the corner again. And then you'd find the guy on the crutches who's waiting in line to get in, right? And so she doesn't want to see anything like that. So it sounded like it was going to be an area where people can pool or collect up and then go to the entranceway and get in. So we're going to speak to those people before they get into the festival, and then we'll be going inside and talking to some of the vendors and stuff like that. We'll be doing that on Saturday, and then Sunday. That's when we go back. Irene and I will both be there on the ground covering it, and Al,
hi, how are you?
Rap, will be, we'll run the board for the show, and that they'll be broadcasting on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook pages, YouTube, and stuff, and we'll be also broadcasting that on the 420 Radio Facebook page as well.
Yep, well.
And of course, I'll be in there too. I'll be popping by and seeing it.
Awesome. And it's also going to be on our stream like we do it. So you can listen
I'm hoping to take home an award on Sunday.
Are you?
I'm hoping.
Oh, well,
I
good
entered
luck.
something into the topical category.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know if the votes have already all gone in, but if you haven't already got your votes in, I think you should have already done that.
Yeah, I think today is the last day to input it up. But there's 9 questions per product, and there's about somewhere around 110 products. I'm not sure exactly what the number is.
It's a lot, man.
It's a lot. I know it's a lot, and
it would take dedication to be a judge. Like honestly,
well, that's why. The people had to have Karma Cup parties. I know the year that I had a kit. Sarah donated kits to some people, or passes to, the kit, the judges thing, to some people, and I was one of them. And it was huge. I had 7 people over to my place, and then I gave people things to take home and judge, and I gave them the information so that they knew what to do. And Green Irene did the same thing with me this year. I went down and seen her, and we introduced a new show that she was going to do on the network, and we did some Karma Cup stuff, and she sent me home with a package of stuff to do, and I shared that with a friend of mine.
Oh, awesome!
It was a big box.
I still had stuff from the Karma Cup sitting in my fridge, in a drawer in my fridge when I packed it up.
Yep. Well, because all the sample sizes are different, right? It depends on the person who's putting in for the competition, how much they're going to give you. Sometimes they don't give you a lot, like not even enough to sample. Stuff. And then other times they give you, they want to make sure that you can get a good reading of what their product is, right? Like I think I gave quite a bit.
I know Sarah mentioned on Tuesday that that stuff that the judges are inputting, she that is available, or she gives it to the people who entered. Either she does it automatically, or it's available for them. So that allows them to get input on their product, way to improve or change or whatever, right?
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing that I'm the most excited about, is because nobody knows that that's mine. There's no affiliation with me. So there's no niceties with my friend saying, oh, I love your product. It's just straight cut the bullshit. Crap. They're just trying it. They're going to let me know, was it good? Was it bad? Could I improve or whatever?
Did it work? Did it not?
Yep. Yeah. Did it do what it was supposed to do?
Yeah. So if the feedback is important, whether you win or not, the feedback is important. And maybe enter the next year.
It's market research. People pay for market research.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's fun. I find it funny that the government doesn't want us to do that on our own. They have to do it. We're not allowed. Yep.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyways, we're at the end of the show. I want to make sure that Al tells everybody where they can find him again.
All right, paceradio.net.
Awesome. And next week
easy.
we might have some guests. Marcel, maybe, could be.
That's the plan.
All right. This is the 420 Radio Show. We're here every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 p.m. if you're out in the East Coast, like the guys are.
Oh,
West Coast. Sorry, what? East Coast, dude.
East Coast. I said out in this coast. Yeah.
Out in the West
coming on to 10.
I thought you said best coast.
No. Well, East Coast, best coast.
What do you? How much of those, Marijane?
These here are going to be available at the auction event that I'm doing for Alternatives Peterborough next weekend.
Cool.
Which I'm also selling 50-50 tickets for. If anybody's interested, tickets are $3.
$3.
$3. And if you buy four, I'm gonna give you one free. Yes,
I'm hungry.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just fucking Google Marijane Baker with an I.
There you go, with an I. Al, thank you for the conversation. Always a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on, man. I enjoyed it. Just sitting around shooting the shit, right?
I'm looking forward to is hanging out tomorrow and helping out on Saturday. Because I like the Karma Cup, and this is how I started going to the Karma Cup without video.
I know. I'm sad you're not going to be there.
Oh well.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Maybe next
It's
year.
okay.
You'll have video tomorrow.
You're in heaven right now. It's okay.
I like how he said maybe next year.
I'm in heaven. I am. I watch the sun go down every morning in my window.
You watch it go down every morning, eh?
Or every night. Well, sometimes it's in the 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You get this big red ball in your window, right? That's really cool. But the trains are loud, and the mill smells really bad. Anyways, say goodnight, everybody.
You got trains near you?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
It's a train town now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Here we go.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not? Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website. Sounds like a cool website. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, I might have it. You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.